Good morning and welcome to Praxis Peace Institute's Friday program. I'm Georgia Kelly, the Director of Praxis. Today we are honored to host ANDER Etxeberria, the Director of Dissemination at the Mondragon Cooperatives in the Basque region of Spain. ANDER has been leading our seminar groups at Mondragon for the past several years and has been lauded profusely by all of our participants. So if you're thinking of coming this next year, you will get ANDER again too. So prior to assuming his current post, Ander was personnel manager for 11 years at Ekerland Technology Center, another Mondragon cooperative. And before that, he worked in a training position for 7 years at the Mondragon Corporate Center. He has a diploma in technical engineering from Mondragon University and a degree in sociology from Deusto University in Bilbao. And recently, he has completed a 24-part video series on many different aspects of the Mondragon cooperatives. I'm putting that link in the chat box and we'll send it to that link to everybody who's on the call later today. So they are the perfect follow-up from today's program if you haven't already seen them. So welcome, Ander. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you for the invitation.
You are
I have
welcome.
been in Brazil 1 week for holidays, and I have arrived home after a trip of 26 hours, 1 hour before.
Oh, so you just got back.
Yes, for me
Oh,
now is 8 p.m., so I have arrived home at 7 p.m.
oh my.
after several delays and problems, and I'm very happy here. My
Well,
job is to explain Mondragon.
Well, I wanted to ask a question first. Yes, I want you to explain Mondragon. But why don't you go ahead and explain Mondragon? Before you do that, I just want to tell everybody that the background for me is looking outside the window of Otalora, and the same with Lori if she shows her background. We both have been there. And actually, several people on this call have been there. Terry Molnar has also been there. So go ahead, Under. I could ask you a question to explain an overview of what Mondragon is, and then I have other questions later.
I work at Otalora, the training center of Mondragon, Cooperative and Management Training Center, but we are today on holidays, the 1st of August. So now I'm at home. For me, the cooperative model of Mondragon, the explanation of the model, the dissemination of the model is a job, but I love it. We think that we have a duty with the world. We owe the world to explain Mondragon because it's a model that works. It's another type of doing business, another type of enterprise that works, is good for everyone. So for me, it is an honor to be now with you to explain Mondragon. I don't know if you want me to explain since the beginning, the history, what we are, or just we can, as you are experts on Mondragon, we can start with questions.
Well, you know what I'd
Russian.
like to start, Ander, is to give kind of an overview of what type of cooperatives are in the Mondragon system and how the worker owners, what their life is like. And I'm going through kind of a list here so you can just pick and choose what you'd like to talk about. And then go into the history after we go over what some of the cooperatives are, what a worker owner's life is like, what they have, what their perks are, and then go into the history a little bit after that. How would
Fine. I'm going to explain some of the most important ideas of Mondragon. I'm going to explain our model, explaining what is not our model. Our model in the world is part of the cooperative types. We are not unique in that sense. There is another type of cooperativism that is more extended. I'm going to explain that model with an example. Imagine that I'm living in California, in Napa, and imagine that my family has vineyards, grapes. In September, or I don't know when in California, we take grape and we put the grape in a cooperative in which we are members. My family, because we own some acres of grape. I put grape, and there are 4 employees in this winery. They have no grape. They are not members of the cooperative. And me, I can be retired. I can be at home. I can be working in another type of company, but I have grape. I am member of the cooperative. This is the main cooperative model in the world, cooperative of producers. So I am member because I have grape, or I have soya, or I have sugar or olives, but then I just put this product there. I'm not working in that company, in the cooperative. This is not our model. In our model, what we put together in the cooperative is work. What does it mean? If I'm a member of my cooperative, I work in my cooperative 8 hours. It has no sense for us to telephone, for example, one of the most known cooperatives of Mondragon, Orbea, bicycle manufacturer. It has no sense to telephone Orbea. Hello, Orbea, how are you? Look, I have 20,000 euros. I don't know what to do with this amount of money. I want to put the money in your cooperative. I want to be member of your cooperative. Has no sense. I am member of my cooperative. I work in my cooperative. Worker-owned cooperatives are the cooperatives of Mondragon. It doesn't matter if it is an industrial cooperative, consumer cooperative, credit, agricultural, educational cooperative, worker-owned cooperatives. We are 92 cooperatives. More than half of the cooperatives are industrial because this is an industrial area since medieval times, but there is also a credit cooperative, there is a consumer cooperative, there are agricultural, research and technological research centers, other services. 92 cooperatives that are together. Why? Because they are friends. So they are autonomous cooperatives that are friends, and they are together because of that, because it is good for them. If there is a cooperative that is not happy in the group, can leave the group. We don't want to happen because we are strong if we are together, but it is possible and sometimes happens. Then each cooperative, it is autonomous. I am member of my cooperative and proprietor of my cooperative. I work in my cooperative. I have one vote. How many votes the general manager? One vote. How many votes the worker member that is working in the warehouse? One vote. When I use the vote, usually once per year, in the annual general assembly, in the assembly where we take the most important decisions, the decisions that affect more in my life. Then daily decisions are taken by managers. This is probably one of the keys that explains the success of Mondragon. We don't organize a general assembly every 2-3 days to take decisions. The main decisions, all of us, once per year, the decisions that are most important, the decisions that affect more in my life, all of us, and each of us one vote, the same power, and then daily decisions, managers. This is since the creation of the first cooperative, since the first minute in 1956. What else? The salaries, what we earn, what we get every month. There is a limit between the lowest payment and the highest payment. And the limit in the Mondragon cooperatives is 6. So the CEO of a cooperative is going to get maximum 6 times the most simple worker in that cooperative. Maximum is 6. If we are talking about our competitors, the difference can be 200, 500, 1,000 times. In our case, 6 times. So I am worker, proprietor, owner. I have one vote. We take the most important decisions in the General Assembly. The limit of the salaries in each cooperative is 6. And the job is a kind of sacred. It's very, very important job. That means that if, because of a crisis, I lose my job, I have the option to work in another cooperative of the system. There is no work for me. Imagine that there is no work for me for my profile in the rest of the cooperatives. I have the right to be trained, upskilling, reskilling, to know more about what I'm doing, to know new competences, to be more employable. And if still there is no work for me in the rest of the cooperatives, I have the right to get an unemployment benefit from the group for maximum 2 years. In our history, no one worker member has extinguished this 2 years period of unemployment. Some people say, wow, this is solidarity. And I say, this is solidarity and business because my talent is not going to be at home. It's not going to be used by a competitor company. My talent is going to remain in the group. This is very important. It is about solidarity and the pocket, both, both. What else? Very, very important. At the end of the year, it doesn't matter if it is a good year or a bad year. And this is something that we do since 1965. 65. What? Cooperatives that earn more money at the end of the year give money apart from helping the rest of the cooperatives with managerial programs and so on. Cooperatives that earn more money give money to the cooperatives that earn less money or lost money. This is something that we do since 1965. That means that at the end of the year, this is the difference of the cooperatives. We apply this mechanism, pooling of results, we call it, and this is the difference. We go together. Some people, again, they say, wow, this is solidarity. And I say, this is solidarity and this is business. Because our idea is not to create a company, to do a successful company, to sell the company, and to be rich. This is not our idea. Our idea is to create a company, to do a successful company, and the company has to continue being successful. What is the mission of Mondragon? The mission of Mondragon is to create good jobs. This is since 1956. Why? Because we understand that the most important tool, the most effective tool to improve a region is to have cooperatives that are machines to create richness, so workers have every month a regular salary that is more than a good salary. This is the best way to improve a region. So this is the mission of Mondragon since the beginning, to create good jobs, and it has to continue. Thanks to this mechanism, it continues. But this is a little presentation in 2 words.
Okay, now maybe we'll go to some of the history. When Father Arizmendi Arrieta arrived in Mondragon in 1941 was the beginning of a new vision for the region. And I think his role is so pivotal to what happened. And I want you to talk a little bit about that history, about him coming there, how the first cooperative formed, and what happened within the starting of the bank that really created a whole system of cooperatives.
He came in February 1941 here. The church is 200 meters from here. That means 1941, 2 years after the end of the Spanish Civil War. The Civil War means not just physical destruction, but especially social destruction, no links. He came here in 1941 and he's going to meet innocents, young people, 14, 15, 16 years old, boys and girls. And with these young people, he's going to organize easy activities after the war, football matches, music concerts, excursions to the mountains, and something they called study circles. What is a study circle? It was a kind of debate, but first it was about to choose the topic, famine in the world, or the problem of housing in the town of Mondragon, also at that time. First, prepare individually, then prepare in groups, and then to debate. And Arizmendiarrieta add his ideas about how important is every person at home, with the family, with friends, and in the company, in the enterprise. This was an activity that they did 2-3 hours per week, every week, during months, during years. So since his arrival, the town of Mondragon was changing, because these young people, they were together with Arizmendiarrieta organizing these activities, taking part on debates. But during the war, their parents were fighting in different sides. So since his arrival, the town is changing. 1941. What is going to happen in 1943? There was a big company in the town of Mondragon, an industrial company. This is an industrial area. The name of the company was Unión Cerrajera. Unión Cerrajera was a paternalistic company, so they pay a little salary to the workers, and they also had some services for the workers. For example, a school, a vocational level school, just for the brothers of the workers and sons of the workers. It was just for them. In 1943, Arimediareta is going to ask the proprietors of the school, proprietors of the company, please open the school to everybody because education is fundamental for a region. The answer was no. And no was not the end of the process for Arimediareta. He met the authorities of the town, people that had money, entrepreneurs of the town, and he convinced them to create another vocational level school, the same than the private one, but open to everybody. That was 1943. He set up at that time, the name Escuela Profesional. Today, the name is Mondragon University. 1941, Arimediareta. It was not enough to create the school, but he's going to explain his ideas in person at that time from Monday to Saturday. Saturday was a working day, so for Arimediareta was also a school day. 20 minutes of speech, then from Monday to Friday, 20 minutes of speech after having lunch to the students, teachers, and staff. If we ask these students, today they are 80, 90 years old, how was a speech of Arimediareta at that time? They say, I understood nothing. If I ask my mother, I live here, Ama, how was a sermon of Arimediareta at that time? My mother says, I understood nothing. What was the problem? Arimediareta had clear ideas, but once he started talking, he mixed the ideas, he used very sophisticated concepts, and it was very difficult to understand this priest. But the students, 80, 90 years old, they say, we understood nothing, but it was like the sirimiri. What is sirimiri? It's a Basque word to explain the little rain we have in the Basque country, drizzle. So imagine that I'm at home, I have to go to the shop to buy bread, and it is sirimiri. I don't take the umbrella. But once I'm at home again, I'm wet. This is what they say. It was the same conference every day, the same ideas. So in months, in years, the ideas of Arimediareta were in our minds. Very, very, very important sirimiri. That means repeat, repeat, and repeat. And when we are talking about Arimediareta, it is about repetition of predication and action, both predication and action. It is not enough, but he's going to convince some of the young people that were around him organizing the cultural, sport, spiritual activities. He's going to convince the 11 most leaders boys to study not just the vocational level school of the private school or his school, but you have to study engineering, technical engineering. And these 11 boys are going to say, Arimediareta, yes, but we have a problem at home. The same problem than 99% of the families at that time here. At home, we have not enough money to access to university studies. That was the problem. The solution. Arimediareta had a contact at the University of Zaragoza in the east of Spain, and he's going to reach an agreement with that university. They could study by distance, by correspondence. They are going to be living and working in the town of Mono, these 11 boys. They are going to have professors, teachers from the school of Arimediareta in the afternoon. So they are going to go to the university only 15 days per year to do the exams. In the 50s, they are engineers, technical engineers. They are working in the factories, in the companies of the town of Mondragon, all of them conventional, not cooperatives. And after so many years of sirimiri, so many years of predication of the ideas of Arimediareta and action, they were not happy. Paternalism was suffocating, and they wanted to be masters of their destiny. So they are going to propose in the companies where they were working for the workers to have a vote in the annual general meeting of the shareholders. In every company, the answer was no. And not 11, but 5 of them said, okay, it is not possible to transform these companies. We are going to create a company where the proprietor is going to be a worker, where the worker is going to be a proprietor. And that was the first cooperative, 1956. 5 workers, the family names, Usatorre, Larrañaga, Gorroñogoitia, Ormachea, Ortubay. The name of the first company, Ulgor, 1956. They created a model, the same model, 1956, 2025.
Yes. Now, one of the things that a lot of people have asked, and we talked about this earlier, is the unusual composition of the Basque region. It's been separated from other areas of Spain and Europe, and that a lot of people think cooperatives have been easier to form there because of the history and because they believe the people are more cooperative innately. So I want you to talk about that because we do have cooperatives in the US. We have the only place where we have a mixture or 5 or 6 cooperatives together are the Arizmendi bakeries in the Bay Area, but there are cooperatives all over the country. But I want you to speak specifically to this question that I hear all the time, and I'm sure you do, is how realistic do you think it is for us to talk about and conceive of creating a cooperative network in the US, in the Bay Area, for instance?
I studied first, you have said, technical engineering in our university, Mondragon University. Then I studied sociology in Bilbao with the Jesuits in Deusto University, sociology. As a sociologist, I don't think it is so important, the culture. I don't think it is so important to be Basque to do this type of cooperativism. The most important thing when we are recruiting people is to talk about this, the heart and the pocket, both, not just this. We are not recruiting saints. There are few saints in the world. We are recruiting normal people, people that answer to normal incentives, normal incentives. These are important, but we also need pocket incentives. If we ask a person, if you come with us, you are going to have a good salary. What? Not bad, a good salary. We also are going to say, if you come with us, you are not going to be fired for economic reasons. You are going to be fired if you do something horrible. If you hit someone, if you steal money, you are going to be fired. But if we have economic power problems, you are going to be relocated in another cooperative. So this is about a steady job. People love steady jobs. Most of the people, not some people because they are entrepreneurs, they are special, but most of the people, almost all the people, a good salary, steady job. Then we are going to tell that person, we are going to explain that person. And if you work with us, you're going to have one vote. One vote. For what? Well, imagine that we are going to decide to increase the salary. You are going to have power, one vote. Or we are going to decide to decrease the salary. Or we are going to decide to move the company to another region. You are going to have the power, one vote. And the boss, the general manager, the CEO, one vote. Well, this is fine. Power, a good salary, a steady job, and then what about this? We are working, Arimendiareta said, the founder, the priest, said, we are working with this type of model not to create rich people, but to create rich societies. That means that if there are many cooperatives in a region, something special has to be in that region. For example, is the region of the town of Mondragon. There are here 9 towns in the same region, the region of the Deva River. Behind me, there is a river. We are in the highest part of the river. The name of the region is Alto Deva, 63,000 inhabitants. Usually, this region is in the Basque country, the region with the highest family incomes. So I have said, in our case, is 1 to 6 the limit. And for our competitors, it can be 1, 200, 500, 1,000. But highest family incomes in this region, in the Basque country. If we take the whole Spain, usually this is the region with the lowest unemployment ratio here. This is the region that invests more in Spain in research and development because we want to continue existing. And this is the region in Spain with the lowest economic inequality, one of the lowest in the world. So it is not just the pocket, a good salary, steady job, and power, but it is also that we are creating a better world. It is good for me, it is good for you.
Right. I wanted to ask you to talk a little bit about some of the products that are created by the Mondragon Cooperatives, and then something about the research and development, because it's such a big complex within the Mondragon Cooperatives. So if you can tell us some of the products that are being made and something about the R&D that's happening there.
We are 92 cooperatives, 11, this is in English, 11 11,000 billion
Not
euros.
quite sure what that means.
11 and 9 zeros. Yes?
We know
11
it's a
and
good
9
number.
zeros. This is the income, 70,500 workers, 62 out of 92 cooperatives are um, industrial home appliances, machine tools, hospital devices, many things that you can check. You can check in our webpage. A university, a school from 0 to 18, including vocational level degree or level. 3 agricultural cooperatives, seeds, food for animals, cows, gardening products, technological and research centers, a catering company, a consulting company. So different types of companies, a consumer cooperative, a credit cooperative, different types of companies. Fundamental research and development. We have 14 research and development cooperatives in different fields. Arizmendiarrieta always said when the pioneers since 1956 were creating more and more cooperatives, he asked them, what are you going to do? Your group of worker members, we're going to do machine tools. Or what are you going to do? We're going to do bicycles. And he said, you have to be the best. You have to be the best. Always, you have to be the best. So the beginning was not in a garage with few resources. No, they did since the beginning a great investment in technology to be the best. And this is the idea, to be the best. Then maybe we are not the best. Then every year, one cooperative goes bankrupt because it is about business. But the goal is to be the best. This is on the one hand. On the other hand, for that, what we have to do is to invest in research and development. If we were not a cooperative, a conventional company, what happens here in the Basque Country with conventional companies? Now we have many companies in the last 10 years that they were created 40 years ago. They were very successful, and the owner said, well, I have offers to sell my company, but I have a recognition in the town. I'm happy to create jobs. This is what he has said. Usually it is a man. This is what he has said during 40 years. But now that he's thinking about his retirement, he says, what about the offer? And he's going to stop investing in new technologies, patents, improving the programs, the processes, because he's going to sell the company. And the company is going to be bought by a multinational or by an international fund. And in few years, this company is going to go to another country, for example, to Asia's countries. This is not our case. It's not our case. This is a cooperative of Mondragon. We understand that this is a machine to create richness, and it has to continue. And the only way to continue is to invest in research and development. And sometimes it's not enough, and some of our cooperatives go bankrupt. But this is what we think about the cooperative. It has to continue there, creating good jobs.
Right. I want to ask now, last, because I want to open it up to other people to ask questions, but I want you to just go over some of the perks of being a worker owner in the Mondragon system. What insurance is covered, some of the unemployment, the pensions. Give us an idea of how the worker owner lives and what they get for their work.
We have a private social security system complementary to the public one. So I'm a Basque citizen, Spanish citizen. I'm part of the Spanish social security system. And I'm part of Mondragon, and I have also a private social security system, which is Lagunaro. Lagunaro is going to provide me job in case I lose my job. What I have said before about relocation, no job for me in the rest of the cooperative training. Lagunaro is going to pay my training. No job for me, an unemployment salary for 2 years. Lagunaro is going to pay me. The name of this program is not an employment program, but employment program. So in positive. positive name, employment program, not unemployment. Then, if I'm sick, I can't work, Lagunaro is going to pay me, usually it is 80% of my salary, if I have influenza, for example. What else? The pension. I'm paying every month for my pension to Madrid, part to Madrid, to the Spanish pension system, and part for our private pension system. 60% what I'm paying per month for my pension go to Madrid, and 40% to our system, to Lagunaro. The pension system of Madrid is, I think in English, pay as you go. So the money that there is today in Spain to pay pensions, it is paid today. So demography is a problem. Few workers, many retired people, this model has the problem of this type of demography. But the system of Lagunaro is the money that I put every month, they put in different investments. And there is profitability. There is an interest. So what I'm going to get from our system once I'm going to retire is what I have paid plus this interest. And the interest is much bigger than what I have paid. In summarizing, the pension of a cooperative member is bigger than a pension of a non-cooperative member, a pension that comes 100 per 100 just from the Spanish system. We have a higher pension.
Great. I want to see if there are people who'd like to ask some questions. If you know how to raise your hand with the automatic lever, that would be okay. I see David Corton. Would you like to go ahead? You need to unmute. You great. You need to unmute, David.
David, the answer is yes.
Pardon?
The answer is yes. Next question.
No.
Next question, yeah. I'm sure you're aware, as the rest of us are, that we humans are in a very dangerous situation in terms of the dysfunctions of our global economy. And in the work I do, it is very clear that the Mondragon model is probably the most positive and useful model that we have got for what is now, a global civilization. And I understand, if I understand Georgia correctly, the folks at Mondragon are currently dedicated to bringing the model to the rest of the world to the extent that you're able, which I think is absolutely foundational. And it's why I'm so excited about what Georgia's doing here in terms of this conference. But what can you tell us about how Mondragon is thinking about this challenge, and how Mondragon and what Mondragon's role is, and how you are planning to bring the model forward in the attention of global consciousness?
Our job, thank you, David. Our job now at the outreach program, we are two colleagues, me and Germán. So we explain Mondragon at Otalora, Mondragon here, and we are traveling around the world to explain Mondragon. Now I have been in Brazil for holidays, but I have worked a little bit. But in June, I was in Indonesia. In October, I'm going to go to the Philippines. And then in October also, I'm going to go to Cincinnati to explain Mondragon. So this is something that is not active from our part, but they invite us. They invite from the world, from around the world. I'm waiting the invitation of Georgia to go to California one day. And we have petitions to visit Mondragon. So two people working full-time to explain Mondragon. Then we take part in podcasts, different TV programs. We have done web to explain Mondragon in 24 chapters. We take part in TED Talk, but it is a kind of passive, not active. Because the mission of Mondragon is not to change the world. It is not our mission. It is a kind of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Don't ask Mondragon what Mondragon can do for you, but what can you do inspiring of Mondragon for your country? So Mondragon in that sense is an inspiration. Then thanks to Kim, for example, with his books, spread the idea of Mondragon. But it's not an obligation for Mondragon to change the world. The obligation of Mondragon is to explain Mondragon. So we have people explaining Mondragon, and we have also the University of Mondragon, an institute called Lanki that writes articles and books about Mondragon. So Mondragon can be inspiring for other people. I was in Indonesia, and it was a surprise for me. I was invited by Kelly Kuman Cooperative Group. They are inspired in Mondragon, I didn't know, and they are a credit cooperative. They have consumer cooperatives, a language academy that is a cooperative, agricultural cooperatives, vocational level school cooperative, university cooperative. A kind of little Mondragon, I didn't know, in Borneo Island. So the mission of Mondragon is to create jobs here, good quality jobs, and then to explain Mondragon. And the rest of the people can be inspired, and you in your country.
Right.
So how can this group be most helpful to that process?
The way is, if you listen to this talk or you are in Mondragon, then you can write an article, or you can talk to your friends that are entrepreneurs, or you can talk to your friends that are politicians. And little by little, maybe in 50 years, or maybe in 100 years, how many years need the capitalist enterprise model to be everywhere in the world? I think it was not from one night to the next day. It was years and years. I think this is our case. There is a problem in this matter, and the problem is to explain Mondragon in a romantic way. If we explain Mondragon saying what I have said in this 40 minutes, if I say, this is because we are Basque, and Basque people, we are special. We're special because we are living in both sides of the Pyrenees with a millennium language, the Basque language, the oldest language in Europe, because we have a tradition of democracy since the medieval times, because we have a tradition to work together since always. If we explain Mondragon that way, we are saying, you are not born Mondragon, don't try. They are special people, they can do it, not you. The rest of the world, you can't do it. There are many, many articles and books about Mondragon with this paradigm. I don't think so. I don't think culture is so important to explain Mondragon. But what is important is the pocket and this, what I have explained before. So you can explain to your friends, politicians, entrepreneurs this way, not romantic way, but what is Mondragon? It is good for you and it is good for the others. When I'm in countries that are, for example, in South America, that are very unequal, usually I'm invited by universities, and the students of the universities are rich students. And I say in every university, I want the best for me, and I want the best for you. So you are not going to attack me. I don't need to put a fence in front of my house to have a bodyguard. I want also the best for you. This is about Mondragon. Normal people doing this type of enterprise.
Yeah, this could be a long discussion, but I think the co-ops have also influenced the culture a lot. And that's a whole other discussion. But I want to go to Terry because he has his hand up. Go ahead, Terry.
Let me unmute myself. Hi, Ander. Ander, I was first in Mondragon in 1979. And I took my
Yes. Because you were flying, and in that flight, you said, I have to go to Mondragon.
That's right.
I
Oh,
remember.
did I meet you back then?
No,
Yes, you told me.
no, you didn't meet him
I
then.
told it to you when I was there. So the important thing is, briefly, that I put together a slideshow, and I did my slideshow during the 1980s at every conference in the United States, from the Reagan White House on down. And I wrote many articles in a book and about Mondragon. And I then had a consulting firm to set up worker-owned cooperatives based on Mondragon. What I was aware of in 1979 is the Garde de Seville with their machine guns. Two of the Garde de Seville were standing on every major corner in downtown Mondragon. One of them with the machine gun pointing up, and the other guy, doing whatever business they were doing. And what I'm trying to point out to you is the solidarity among the Basque people vis-a-vis the constant presence of the Garde de Seville, the unity of Catholicism, was very, very, very strong. Americans are drunk on individual free choice. It's very, very hard for Americans to give priority to the common good in anything, especially more so today than ever. So it's been very difficult for a lot of groups to succeed at doing the Mondragon model in the United States. I converted a company with 4 unions in Canada to be a Mondragon cooperative. And just recently, after 15 years, they sold the company to the leading executives. It's very difficult over here. So I want to ask you a couple of questions. One is, what do you see as the challenges for the Mondragon system at this time? Because I think that you're experiencing some of what we're experiencing in the United States is the rising enthusiasm for individualism, even in Mondragon. So, and then in the European Union, I know. So what are some of the challenges that you're facing these days?
Great question.
The challenge is not about the model. It's the same model 1956, 2025. It works. It is what I have said, a good salary, steady job, and then power, and then the impact in the society. This is the model. It works. Some people say, no, but today, young people, they want to travel, they want to work at home. Yes, this is the young people that are aeronautic engineers or electronic engineers. But if they have studied geology here, they have no job. Historian, they have no job. So few people that they have a degree that is very demanded, they can say, yes, we want. Then every time we see in the news, every time there is a public job offer, there are hundreds and hundreds of young people to get the job. So the model is fine. The challenge is business. The challenge is business. It can be in few months or in few years, another disruptive technology, and our companies that are working in that niche of market can go down. So the risk is the market, not the model.
Yeah, I understand.
I think what you're getting at, Terry, and I feel the same way, is we have such a highly individualistic society, and it's become more so in our lifetimes than it was when we were young. And it's
Yes,
at an extreme at this point.
you are thinking about being rich in terms of money. With money, you can buy things that have a price. And we are thinking about being rich to buy things that have value. For us, it is very important to be with our friends, with our family. I can be working in a big company, imagine in Ohio, and I can get 20 times my salary. So I will be in Ohio, I will be rich. But Friday, in Ohio, I will be alone, rich and alone. I prefer to be here and to be with my friends, taking some beers or some cokes, and to go to the gastronomic club with my family. This is for us to be rich, things that can't be paid with the MasterCard. They have no price.
So, Ander, one of the other things that we discovered when I was there with Georgia on one of our last trips to Mondragon is we met with, I think, a public official, Georgia, from the government of Mondragon.
Oh, the mayor.
The mayor, yes. And what I understood is the economic policy of the Basque, you know, locally managed economy now within Spain is to promote the development of cooperatives like the Mondragon Cooperatives. How successful has the Basque government been at promoting that, and how many other cooperatives have been created, roughly based on the Mondragon model?
Kind of a hard question.
Don't share this with the government, okay? There is a public company to create cooperatives. It's not part of Mondragon. It's a public company. It depends on the Basque government, more or less. And they have created last year, I don't know, imagine 200 cooperatives.
Oh, really?
200 cooperatives. How many workers? 400. One cooperative, 2 workers. We have created more jobs.
Yeah.
More jobs. Yes. And usually these 200 cooperatives are for service cooperatives. Yes. A little bar, hairdressers, nurses, delivery company, 2, 3, 4 people, few people. In our case, we are growing organically, creating more jobs in our companies. For example, if it is an industrial company, creating an energy department or health department. Well, I think this is the reality. This is the reality. We are maybe because of the inertia, but especially because we want to be the best. We are always improving, investing in research and development, and creating new jobs because some jobs are disappearing. Maybe because of artificial intelligence. But this is something, an obligation for Mondragon to continue existing, the investment in research and development, and the consequences to the creation of jobs.
Now,
So,
let me just I
those
want to
two.
make sure that other people have time to have a chance to ask questions too, Terry. So just let me.
Oh, sure. That's fine, George. I'll come back later.
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone else want to have one? And if not, we will go back to it. But I wanted to mention one more thing because it's kind of attached to what we were talking about, and that is many times
Deborah.
we've been told that there are other cooperatives besides the Mondragon cooperatives. That there are a lot of cooperatives in the Basque region of Spain. So would you talk about that? Because I don't remember hearing about it recently. That
in the Basque country, there are more or less, it depends on the organization, but more or less 2,000 cooperatives.
Okay, and
We
only
are 92. So if we take the cooperatives of Mondragon, 92, and the cooperatives that have been part of Mondragon, that in 1991, when we created the Mondragon structure, they didn't join Mondragon, or during these last decades, they have left Mondragon. If we take these Mondragon experience cooperatives, in our case, on average, our cooperatives are 250 members. The rest of the companies,
small.
almost 2,000, they are 2, 3 people.
Mm-hmm. So they're almost like partnerships. Okay. Okay, if someone else doesn't want, we'll go back to Terry if there isn't any other question.
Okay. So that's
No,
what I
but
want.
Deborah Taylor, but Deborah,
Yeah.
the man.
So under those 200 cooperatives that got started, were they able to get some successful funding from the state of the Basque Country if they set it up as a cooperative?
They have funding, they have aids, yes, money to create the cooperative. Yes. What is good for us is for Mondragon that we are a group. And it's not just the creation of a cooperative that is helped with money, but the further developments of the company, of the cooperatives. So we have money that comes at the headquarters, we have money that come from the cooperatives and then go to the cooperatives continuously. This is something that a little cooperative, just the little cooperative for the beginning, not for the rest of the life of this little cooperative.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll throw in before I can see that Fran's come on too, so she might want to ask something.
I'm sure she would.
Yeah. So what I'm wanting to say, Anders, is because that's what I was guessing. There's 200 cooperatives with the average of being two people. So if they were able to get some financial support by structuring it as a cooperative rather than as a company or a partnership, that would have been attractive to use the Mondragon process. Um, you know, welcome to America's reality. So, uh, I just would like to let you know that I've thought this through a lot because, since I was there in 1979, and I was on my way back from India where I'd studied Gandhian economics and for 3 months in India. And I now believe the next stage of maturity for capitalism is common good capitalism. We want to build on individual freedom and free markets, but we want to create companies that give priority to the common good no matter what the ownership structure is. And so that's what I'm thinking is going to be the next stage of maturity. I'll just say one more small paragraph about that, which is that, in the United States, the National Football League and the National Basketball Association are basically a cooperative of the owners who get together and set the rules, and then the teams compete as a secondary priority, and there's referees. So I think that's going to be the next model for capitalism in the United States. Is that because what happened since 1989, Ander, is that when Jack Welch said in 1989, if you're not number one or number two in your product sector, get out of it. The number one thing on Wall Street since then has been mergers and acquisitions to create duopoly monopolies. So we have, Lowe's, Home Depot control 87% of the hardware sales in the United States. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Apple, Google, we can go all the way down the line. So that's what's happened. But the political left haven't figured out that that's what's happened, and they haven't raised their voices anger at that. So, but slow down. Okay, I'll finish. Just let me know you like
questions.
just let me know you like me to finish. And so I think that's the next phenomenon, and I just want to know what you and the Basque people would think about the emergence of good capitalism.
Not at the headquarters, nor me. I think some of my colleagues at the university, they could answer that question, but I'm sorry, I haven't think about that. We haven't think about that among us at the headquarters.
Very good, thanks.
I have to learn from you.
We'll come back. Okay, so I see Fran. I will get to you, Laura, but I want to.
No, but
Go ahead, Fran.
Deborah Taylor is going to ask a
I
question.
just want to draw attention to Deborah Taylor and her partner who want to ask a question.
See, if I don't see the automatic hand, I don't see them. Okay, thank you. So go ahead, Deborah.
We don't seem to have access to the automatic hand.
Oh, okay.
But Ander, is the answer to my question going to be yes?
What is your question?
Yes.
Well, he said yes before. I
Next
thought we
question.
could get a yes out of him first. We're about to visit San Sebastian, and I went online to the Mondragon website to try to see if we could do a visit. Now that you explained that it's closed for August, that's why I never got a response from email there. But we're going to be there at the beginning of September. Is there a way, and do you think it's worth it to try to visit, or is it just scheduled visits that you guys do out there?
Yes, we have a scheduled visit. So now it's closed.
Yes.
Until I think the 26th of August. Now it's closed. But then we have a scheduled visit. Yes,
Okay.
in the webpage.
And it will be posted because the only ones posted on the webpage were like from June and July.
The next, I think, is usually the third Monday of the week. I think it is the third Monday of the
Month.
month.
Of the month. Okay. Yeah,
Or
we
you
will
come
be
with
there.
us next May.
That
Yes.
might be the option. Yeah. Okay.
But we're there all week.
Okay.
Yes. Me, I'm going to be for holidays the last 10 days of August in New York.
In New York?
In New York for holidays.
Oh, we have to talk about this, Hunter. The last few days of August, and then you have to be back at Mondragon when?
The 1st of September, I think. And then in October, the Philippines, and then Cincinnati with COP Cincy. Do you know?
Yes, I do. Yes.
They organize a conference.
Great. Good to know. So Fran, did you want to say something?
Lori.
Okay, Lori?
Hi. Hi.
Have fun.
Well, Andrew, it's wonderful to see you again. 2017 was my tour at Mondragon, and I thought that what was very impressive was your Department of Research and Development. And since that plays such a key factor in the thriving businesses within the cooperatives, I have a question. Is that something that all cooperatives have access to, or how does that department actually function?
On the one hand, there is a department at the headquarters, the promotion center, and this is
Okay.
just innovation, research and development for us, for our cooperatives. But then our technological research centers, they are open to everybody, not just cooperatives, but also other types of companies, because they have subsidies of the government.
Mhm.
So if there is public money, there has to be a public work, not just for us, for the cooperatives, but for any type of company in the Basque country.
Okay. So then that's how you happen to stay innovative. It's really a blend, okay, that can be accessed by both you and the government. Is that correct?
But first, the innovation in each cooperative. One cooperative, one research and development department. The responsibility is the responsibility of the cooperative. Then the group, the promotion center of the group. Then the university.
Okay.
And then the technological research centers. So many resources for innovation, and all of them important.
That's one of the
great.
things we didn't get into was the university system. There are 4 different campuses, the Culinary Arts Center, which our program, we talked to them about having lunch there next time we go in May, and have a tour and then have lunch at the Culinary Center, which would be
We
great.
will try. You know that the program, yes, for example, Praxis Peace Institute program to visit Mondragon. Cooperatives are autonomous. So from here, I organized the visit, telephoning them. Hello, there is a group from California that would like to visit you, please, please, please. But they have their own agenda. It's not a museum. They have
Right.
their own agenda, their own industrial agenda. And they could say, oh, we are sorry because we have a visit of a governor and no way to attend you. Yes?
Yes, well, that's
Same
what,
for the culinary university.
yeah, that would be great to have lunch there. So I want to go to Fran, and we're actually at the hour. So I'm sorry, probably, Terry, we may not get to it, but Fran, go ahead. Fran?
I don't have my hand up. Dave does.
Oh, okay. I thought it was you. Okay. Go ahead, David. You need to unmute.
Now, I recall that Mondragon has, I don't know, owns or sponsors businesses in various parts of the world that do not operate on the Mondragon model, that they're not actually cooperatives. And I just wonder if you have anything to say about that and what the future thinking is about what Mondragon will plans to do with those businesses, and whether there's any intention to bring them into the cooperative model.
We have 104 companies around the world, in United States, in China, India, France, Italy. They are not cooperatives. Cooperatives are 92, are here, and subsidiaries are not cooperatives. This is a contradiction,
Yeah.
So companies abroad, they are more, they give more money to the region where they are located. They do more training, worker trainings. They give more information. They have a better salary. This is the idea. This is the criteria. From the headquarters to our cooperatives, please, your subsidiaries around the world, a kind of cooperative, but they are not cooperatives. They are not worker-owned. The mission of Mondragon is not to change the world, to create cooperatives around the world, but to create cooperatives and jobs here. Why? Because there is a practice problem. The problem of culture around the world. We explain what is a cooperative, and they say, sorry, what is it? No, I'm going to be paid every month. I don't want any other responsibility. I don't want to put money as capital the first day. No, I'm not going to pay to work. And there is a law problem. Some cooperative laws, some countries, they have no cooperative law. And some laws, cooperative laws in some countries, they explain me, visitors, that the law is an obstacle to create jobs, to create cooperative jobs. So it will be something very difficult for Mondragon. It will be very, very difficult to create cooperatives around the world. This is a contradiction that we feel. We are not happy about that, but we have no solution.
And that's where a culture does come in because cultures are different. And I remember hearing early on that the Mondragon Cooperatives and the mission there is not to be missionaries, but to learn what cultures need and what they want. And I think that's an important part of, I think, the humility of Mondragon, which is what I know it's a contradiction, but on the other hand, it's respecting culture as well.
So, Georgia, let me sneak in one quick
One
little
more.
question.
Okay, one last thing.
So, the Catholic Church has never supported capitalism, socialism, or communism. The Catholic Church economic philosophy is subsidiarity. Did Father Arzmendi ever talk about subsidiarity and that subsidiarity says the greatest power should be at the most local level of the individual?
Yes, yes,
He
yes,
did talk about that.
yes, yes. I think we are part of this idea, subsidiarity. We are going to do us and not the government. We can do it.
I love that he actually, because that's a beautiful thing that he was given expression to the Catholic economic theory. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
I want to thank you, Ander, especially you just returned from a long trip and you're with us an hour later. So I want to thank you for doing this. I want to maybe have a conversation with you next week about some other plans. But thank you so much today. I'm going to stop the recording.